Are the days of the compact Micro Four Thirds camera over? Join me, let's find out. Hi YouTube, Brian James, I'm Micro Four Thirds guy on this beautiful summer's evening in Cumbria in the northwest of England. Good to see you all. Just noticing on here, I think I need a haircut. I do need a haircut, don't I? Never mind, I'm going to have to get it done. Just ignore the sort of mop top on there. I've had an interesting couple of conversations in the last few days. About a fortnight ago, I saw an article on 43 Rumours about the demise, at least in the Japanese market, for the manufacturer of the Lumix GX7 Mark III, which over in the UK we know as the GX9. I haven't seen it being discontinued in any of the other markets. However, what usually goes on in Japan and the Asian market when it comes to 4/3 cameras usually comes across here, because the Japanese and Asian market really is the home of Micro Four Thirds cameras and have the biggest sales of the lot over there. So I couldn't see that there's been anything announced to replace this. And that really rather worries me, because Micro Four Thirds for me, although we're used to the bigger cameras, we've had things like the G9, the AM1 Mark III, the AM1X, and they are great, but they are quite large cameras insofar as what they are, especially the AM1X and the G9. Bear in mind, I'm an ex-Canon shooter. I shot the the Canon 1 Mark III for quite some time, and although the AM1X is considerably smaller than that, it's a sort of baby brother, if you like. If you look at it, it's still, for a Micro Four Thirds camera, large. Now we've got very used to the idea of the pentaprism type cameras in the Micro Four Thirds range with the center eyepiece, but the GX7 Mark III, or the GX9 if you prefer, is very much in that small compact rangefinder design. And as you know, that I've got a couple of AM1s, I've got a G9, but I also have a GX8 and a GX1. And the beauty of those has been the fact that they are very, very compact. Now, one of the beauties of Micro Four Thirds was the fact that not only was the lenses much smaller, but the cameras were smaller as well. And that made it a very, very useful camera if you want to do some discrete work. But the advantage of it was you've got a compact camera, but with replaceable lenses, which have got superb optics, and the sensor quality is superb as well, so you can get real professional type shots from something which will fit comfortably in your pocket. And for me, that's been a big key idea of the Micro Four Thirds line as opposed to other formats. Now, I know that other formats do small cameras. If you look at the Sony 6000 series of cameras, you've got some fantastic in-pocket cameras there. But they always tend to have much larger lenses. They've got to, the physics dictate that. So the idea of using a Micro Four Thirds camera, especially with one of the pancake lenses on, slip it in your pocket and still get incredibly good results, has been a winning point for me. But I think Micro Four Thirds has possibly been subject to its own marketing hype. As I say, I've had a few discussions on Zoom meetings and face-to-face with some of my photography friends in the last few days. And we've had some very diverse views, as you can imagine. One of the beauties of this is that we don't necessarily agree on things. And we also, all of us, have been looking through the comments from you, the viewers of this channel. And at the minute we've got 2,700 or so subscribers, and they make up about 30% of the viewers. So we've probably got somewhere around about 7,000 or 8,000 regular viewers on this channel. And the comments which come back are really, really useful, because neither myself nor my colleagues consider us to be real experts in what we do. We're all professional photographers, and we've all got some views which have been annealed, should we say, over time through experience and through use. But there is always different views, and one of the good things about the comments that we get is the differing views down below. Now, I've done a few videos on this. I did one on whether Micro Four Thirds was dead, and the conclusion from that was a very definite no, it's not. I also did a video on my change from full frame and APS-C to Micro Four Thirds, and as to why. Links for both you'll find above, by the way. You'll see them popping up above. So I'm not criticising the Micro Four Thirds format here. But my worry is that the compact camera side of Micro Four Thirds could be in trouble. And I'm interested as to why that is. We know that of the sales, it does tend to be the higher end, more traditional pentaprism shaped camera which is doing the sales these days. And that's very far away from the original format of the camera system. As I say, things like my G9 is a similar sort of size to what I was shooting on my APS-C and full frame cameras. But if you get something like the GX7 or GX9, they're tiny, they will fit in your pocket, and they're marvellous when you're going out and doing shoots where you want a bit of discretion. If you're doing some street photography, or you're somewhere where you want to keep fairly low key, then the idea of the Micro Four Thirds compact body and compact lenses really is important. So what's causing this change? Well, I think some of it obviously has to do with things like camera phones. Camera phones have come on in the last 10 years in leaps and bounds. And now what's available from a camera phone, especially in post-production, is incredible. But there's advantages and disadvantages to both. Obviously, you've got no real physical zoom, although there are multi-lens cameras being put onto mobile phones now. In general, you can't easily change lenses to something better. So you're a bit stuck on that. If you're going to be doing zoom, it's a digital zoom rather than an analog mechanical zoom on the lens. And there is a quality change on that, obviously. We're aware of that. They have some incredible systems, though. They're matching, to a large extent, the in-body stabilization that you're getting on the Micro Four Thirds cameras, which are, I seriously believe, the best on the market for in-body stabilization. But they're getting very, very close. And of course, a mobile phone is always in your pocket. Everybody takes the phone everywhere these days. And having a quality camera on that phone is incredible. The disadvantage for me is it doesn't give the ability to actually be super creative. The creativity is there in the post-production effects which you can get on the camera. But to be able to do things with manual controls is still very much in its infancy on mobile phones. But it also raises other questions. Why is this being allowed to happen? Is it the fact that the advertising hype from the big two on the Micro Four Thirds, Olympus and Lumix, has been pushed towards the larger camera, the more professional end of the photography? And is that to compete with the other brands, the Nikons, the Canons, the other big players, the Sonys? Is it to do with that? Have they shot themselves in the foot by looking towards the short-term gain against the possible long-term loss? Well, we didn't come to a conclusion on this. There was 4 or 5 of us talking, and none of us could actually come to a conclusion as to what's right on this. So I'd be very, very interested to see your comments below. I really would. As I say, I read all the comments. I read each and every comment. I don't usually respond to too many, because also I feel that the comments aren't just for me. They're for everybody who reads them. And we do get an awful lot of very varied comments on there. So I'm very open to the comments as to why I think that the compact side of cameras are starting to go down a bit. But there is a converse side to this which was brought up in the conversations as well. Micro Four Thirds, as I've said, is not dead by any means, and in fact I think the future is very rosy for Micro Four Thirds. But it looks as though Lumix are really putting some effort in towards the video side, which they always have. They've been very much the video centric rather than the still side for some time. And I know that the compact cameras do video very, very well. But we're looking towards the GX5 Mark II, which has come out recently, and the GX6, and there's all sorts of rumours about what's going to be on the palette for the GX6 towards the end of the year when it comes out. So that may be why Panasonic Lumix are actually possibly downsizing their involvement in the compact side. Maybe it's towards the wrong part of the market for them. And this also brings me into the opposite side as to if the question as to whether the compact Micro Four Thirds camera is on the way in and on its way out. If you consider that the last release from Olympus was the EP7, now that's a compact camera, very much in the best tradition of compact camera, and the pen range of compact cameras from Olympus are very, very popular, doing really well. And if you look at the sales figures in Japan, they're the ones who are selling. So what's really going on? What's really going on with Panasonic? Is this just a regroup before they put the next big, or small, should we say, compact camera out? Or is it really the end of Lumix doing compact cameras in the way that we've seen them? I've seen an awful lot of comments very much the fore from GX9 users on this channel. In fact, I'm at the point seriously thinking about considering investing in a GX9 body, because I've seen some fantastic reviews from GX9 and GX7 users on here, and it is a considerably smaller camera than even the GX8 that I use, and there are some big advantages in that. So what do you think? Are you a GX9 or a GX7 user? Where do you see the market going for you? Is it going to be the end of the line for the compact Micro Four Thirds camera from Lumix? Is it going to be the end of the line for the compact Micro Four Thirds camera from all the manufacturers? Or is this just a regroup and a resituation until we get the next compact one come from Lumix? I'm really interested to know your comments. As I say, I haven't come to a full conclusion yet. I'm very, very interested to see what happens in the next couple of months as to where we do go with the compact Micro Four Thirds camera. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Come and join our merry little gang. We're a really friendly group. If you have a look through the comments on any of the videos I've done, you'll actually find that most of the comments on there are incredibly useful, incredibly friendly, and incredibly informative. So, as I say, we have a fantastic audience in the subscribers there, and I know that there's twice as many again who aren't subscribers and just watch your videos. So why not join the group? Don't forget also, you can hit the notification bell, and that'll send out notifications every time you upload a video. You can also leave a little donation on the PayPal link if you want to, which is in the description underneath, and to buy me a coffee. And thanks to all the ones who have already, because you really do give some fantastic support to this channel, keep me in the position where I can actually continue to make these videos. You've got no idea how important it is. But whatever it is, whether you're shooting medium format, whether you're shooting full frame, aps-c, Micro Four Thirds, or even it's your camera phone, take it out with you, take some fantastic photos, enjoy your photography, and I'll see you next time. This is Brian James at Micro Four Thirds guy saying bye-bye.